And welcome to Best of the Worst, a celebration of the very best of the very bad. We'll be looking at everything from the worst world records to the worst thing to do with cheese, not to mention this, the worst thing to see in the bathroom mirror after a late-night curry. So let's welcome our guest this week on David Mitchell's team, comedy actor Robert Webb. And with Johnny Bourne tonight, talk show queen Trisha Goddard. Round one is Pick the Worst, in which both teams try to pick the worst from a number of options. Once they've made their choices, the audience votes, and the team the audience agrees with gets the points. Tonight we're picking the worst thing to be sold on eBay, and our contenders are a forehead, a watering can, a Blue Peter badge, and a virginity.
What's wrong with the watering can?
It's a particularly special watering can.
Was it signed by somebody?
Who signed it?
It was used to save the whale, or to try and save the whale, rather
yes,
unsuccessfully.
that
It
one
happened
up the-
stranded in the Thames.
Yeah.
The vets actually used a watering can to try and simulate the effect of a whole ocean. Washing over. So, oh, you'll feel just at home with this tiny trickle.
Yeah, sadly the whale expired, but the daffodils round its blowhole came up a tree. What happened in the Thames in 1658?
Last time a whale came...
They carved it up and ate it, is what happened.
Absolutely right, yes. As Dr. Howell, who's a chronicler of the time, wrote, they came up the Thames as far as Greenwich, a whale of very great lengthy and bigness. It was harpooned.
You see, this time, watering can, then harpoon. Result, the same. Well,
I remember the forehead. It was some advertising company.
it was, wasn't it? She,
Yes.
she offered her forehead for sale to anyone to
That's
advertise
right.
on.
What was the name of the company?
GoldenPalace.com.
Yes.
I should have known that. Is that tattooed or just written on?
No, that's
No, it's
tattooed, which is, in
tattooed.
fact, only the second most stupid thing a woman's ever done to her forehead. I want to just go back to the virginity, though.
Virginity. She sold it for £5 grand. She's a lesbian. She's a student. She wanted to pay off her student loan. So she put a virginity on the internet.
Was she lesbian?
This is
Yes,
so
she's
unfair. When
lesbian.
I was a student, I couldn't give mine away.
I know.
What sort of man would bid for a girl's virginity?
Did you have to do it on that sofa? Because, I mean, I think that takes the price right down. I think that makes a big difference.
Do you know who the successful bidder was?
Was it you?
No, it wasn't. It was actually a BT engineer. First time a BT engineer came when he said he would.
But what do you think, Trish? You deal with this shit every day. What would your punters say about this? Would they say that's offensive and everyone would shout and hit each other?
No, we'd have a deep and meaningful debate.
And then the sovereigns would fly. Boomerang meets head.
What else did Rosie Reed put on her advert? She had a little promise in there.
I should make it worth their while or something? Or...
In a way, yeah. She said, we'll bung in a free massage if you're any good.
How would she know how good they are?
Yeah,
if they're the
not done
first
it
one.
before.
Maybe they were kind to her.
Oh, don't mention kindness. Oh, that's horrible. Kindness is a sad thing to mention.
Yeah, it really was,
The
wasn't it?
man with the £5,000 being kind.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everyone's a victim and we're all alone in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
What would have happened? Did she have a say in it? I mean, what would have happened if a bloke, say, bought that for his dog?
I don't know. She would...
Oh, imagine that. Imagine she sold it and suddenly she goes up there. And suddenly you get the hooves up the stairs and in you come, Lionel.
A deal's a deal.
Little straw hat, the donkey comes in.
Yeah.
Just looks at her.
I just wonder if the donkey would have got the massage. That's all I'm wondering. Rosie wasn't the only one to sell her virginity on eBay. There was also David Vardy.
Oh, dear.
Who was he hoping
He
would win
sold
the
it in
bid?
exchange for lessons telling how to sit on a chair.
Who is he hoping would win the bid?
I don't know, but it looks like he can't sit down now.
Was it someone like Davina McCall or it was some telly personality, wasn't
He didn't
it?
say... He merely said, a really nice woman. Interestingly, David Vardy put a reserve price on his virginity of £6,000.
Would you stretch to that, Dave? Seriously? I wouldn't.
No, not when I can do it to myself for free.
Never got to tell you, you're bloody good. OK, the Blue Peter badge.
Yes.
This was sold... This is a terrible thing to sell on eBay because...
Outrage.
Because, of course, it gets you discount into certain attractions round the place.
Do you know what those
what?
attractions are?
I think it's things like, just things.
I think...
Things that children enjoy.
Sure you can get into the Cutty Sark on a discount.
Yeah, I bet you can. You get discount passes to that, and you
Right.
get discounts to museums, stuff like that. But weren't there Blue Peter badges that were gold? That would
The word,
actually...
do you know what you got a gold beef
For
Blue Peter
bravery.
badge? More specifically, for saving a life.
Yes.
Or for $5.99. So, teams, which one gets your vote? Johnny and Tricia.
See, I think morally,
Morally.
the Blue Peter badge is pretty shameful.
I know what you're saying there. You're saying that the Blue Peter badge, that's a sale of hope, isn't it?
It is, yes.
That's a sort of betrayal of your former self.
Exactly what I am saying.
go with you on
I think
this.
a Blue Peter badge being a
Peter
really
badge, Blue
worst
Peter
thing
badge.
ever sold on eBay. So let us all down.
David and Robert, what are you going to pick?
I think the virginity.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a really... I mean, I will do most things for money. But I think she's cheap.
You've got your meat and two veg out for comedy,
Yeah.
and you're saying she's cheap.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go with that then.
Yeah.
OK, so to score your points, the audience needs to agree with you, so let's see what they say. Vote now. So I can tell you the worst thing to be sold on eBay is the Blue Peter badge.
Yes.
Time now for the best of the worst bottom five. This week, a rundown of the very worst world records.
Ooh.
Each time we show the teams a photo, they have to guess what ludicrous record it represents. At number 5, what's this record?
It looks... It's a stupid
like a
domino
domino
topple thing.
Yeah. What we're looking at there is nearly 4 million dominoes there. What went wrong?
I think a mouse came in and toppled it. No, a cat. Some animal got into
It
this
was, you're absolutely right,
gymnasium
that's right.
they're in and just toppled one, and that was it. They came in and it all done.
Well,
It
that
was
means
life.
that the mouse or cat is the record holder.
Yes.
Surely.
What I like about it, though, is the fact if the mouse got all his mates in, they all had a right good night.
Well, it's interesting that you subscribe to the theory that mice actually have friends. I don't think... I've seen them on the tube. I don't think they get on at all. I think they're loners. I think they're difficult. Mavericks.
Do you think mice are weird loners?
I think mice are weird loners, yeah.
The animal, the freak animal that caused the destruction, didn't win the record because they have strategic gaps in the dominoes, which are only filled in at the very last minute.
But what
Must
was the
have
freak
won the
animal?
mouse record, though.
Yes.
Because
It would have
mice have terrible difficulty setting those things up. Partly because it's massive for a mouse. It's like a mattress. And also, as we've already discussed, they're not team players.
Actually, what did go wrong was a sparrow flew into one of the dominoes, knocking over 23,000. The record attempt was organised as part of Domino Day, one of the activities in Get a Life Week. At number 4 in the world's worst records list, what's this one?
Is she a he or a she or a
Vivian Wheeler is the name of the person.
Who's getting off on that, is what I want to know. That's what I call niche.
It must be some sort of record for facial hair.
Most ever bearded lady, I guess. The lady with the longest beard.
It's either that or it's man in a dress for the longest amount of time.
Yes.
No, you're right, it is Vivian Wheeler of Illinois who holds the record for the longest female beard.
Wow.
Makes you wonder how hairy her balls are. Anyway, at number 3 in the world's worst records, what's this one?
Cruelest attempt to make a yellow golf ball feel bad and isolated.
What we can't see is if there's a
If it's what?
skewer going through them, and it is a very strange kebab. So it's the record number, presumably, of golf balls balanced on each other, I would say.
Yes, this is the record for golf ball stacking. 9, held by Don Affey of Ohio. When asked why he didn't go for 10, he replied, 10? Are you mad? At number 2, what record does this man hold?
Oh, it's got to be most piercings, surely.
Is he actually trying to grow a pair of glasses out of his own skull? I'm assuming it's a piercing thing, unless it's his kind of having his appendix out while still awake the wrong way up.
There's a guy earlier who sold his virginity, and this is how it went. Has he got pierced buttocks? Literally, just like a bat, literally going through one side, like a bit of eyebrow bolts, just like a bike lock. He's got a bike lock through his arse.
There's a record for the number of body piercings held by
Well done,
Frenchman
Trish.
Matt Roberson. Roberson narrowly beat the previous record holder for metal body piercings, who was so disappointed he shot himself, thereby equalling the record. And at number 1, what record did this chicken hold?
Is it sort of most glassy stare?
Most surprised after receiving shocking news.
I think it's the chicken that survived the longest after having its head chopped off.
You're absolutely right. Here it is. This is Mike, the headless chicken, who holds the record for being the longest surviving headless chicken. In Colorado in 1945, Mike had his head cut off, but he survived for 18 months.
He did.
18 months, yes.
Did
How did the farmer keep him alive?
By lying.
Presumably you have to sort of poke grain in the hole.
Yeah, absolutely right, yes, by feeding him directly into the gullet with an eyedropper. Which is exactly how David Beckham feeds Victoria. So let's take a look at the scores, and the worst team at the moment is David and Robert, but still plenty to play for in part 2. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Best of the Worst, and it's time to ask which ends the worst. 2 video clips, just 1 question. Which is going to end in the worst way? The first clip is from Gloucestershire, and it's this.
Countryside.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Uh-oh. Should I rewind a bit there? To indicate how badly this could go, a good indication is just to see the guy in charge. Look, okay, it's nice scenery, something's happening. Let's see the guy in charge. Uh-oh.
What are they running? Is that a ball?
Cheese.
People do that with cheese, don't they? They roll it away and run after it.
Is what happens is they chase the cheese down to the bottom of the hill and then it stops and then they all have a chat about what the hell they're doing with their lives.
There might be like an electric fence, just, you know, shut, and they crash into it in waves.
motorway.
And then, because of the pressure, the ones at the front start to cook.
Yeah.
And the cheese sort of melts onto them.
Yeah.
And then the ones at the back, actually, it smells delicious. And then they can't control themselves. And it turns into a sort of cannibalistic frenzy.
Anyway, any idea why they do it?
Some ancient tradition, probably.
It's to do with their god.
It is. It's a fertility ritual.
Fertility?
Yeah, basically, if you see any man doing this, don't mate with him. What did...
So men and cheese equals fertility?
Yes.
Well, that's
I'd say
in
not. But then I'm a woman.
Fancy some cheese, love? Why don't we whip back to mine for an evening of cheese?
Oh,
Have you seen my cheese ball?
Incidentally, here's last year's winner.
Crazy loner. Only one way to kill a mouse is it? Yeah, you kill mice.
No.
Only one way to... So I tell my son. Only one way to kill a mouse, son. Fire. And you look at him like that. Like you've seen some bloody things. Fire, son.
how old's your boy?
It's 2.
We should say for children at home, please don't set fire to any nice little mouse.
No,
there are actually thousands of ways of killing mice. You can poison them, drown them, just smack them.
Three really good ways. There's the Navy way, the Army way, or the RAF way. That's true. My dad told me.
Using the army,
This is
sending the army, sending the Navy.
Do you want to hear
sending
wisdom
the
that
RAF.
my father gave me? You kill him the Army way, you bury him alive. Navy way, down the loo. The RAF way, out a car door at speed. 3 ways to kill a mouse.
OK, here is the second clip. It's from Montana, and it involves a black bear.
Tooling up.
Oh.
Bear in tree. Hello, a ladder. Small crowd, pathetically small crowd. What gets me here, yeah?
Yeah.
This guy's getting tooled up here, yeah, and he looks like he knows what he's doing. You've got a bear in a tree, a fire engine. The size of this crowd is pathetic. It's like, you do that in Britain, yeah? A bear in a tree about to get gunned down. Define crowd pleaser. Yeah.
Maybe it happens all
Who
the
isn't at
time.
ringside for an event like that? Evidently, this looks like every day, isn't it? Another bear up there, Dave. Yeah, no.
Well, you know, there was probably, you know, a leopard on roller skates at the other side of town.
It's
a busy day.
But that bear looks so sweet.
Yeah, you say
It's
that.
not footage from Winnie the Pooh, the live-action movie.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Obviously.
I definitely
There's
know.
no, I've read all of Winnie the Pooh, and he doesn't get shot with a tranquilizer gun.
Never the one.
Even in the Disney bastardisation.
No. Where Christopher Robin's dad grabbed his
Yeah.
piece. Get out of the way, Robin. Off as he dragged his son off his leg. I'm going to get me some bear. No, Tigger, it's happening. It's going down. It's happening. That bear will not live, son. Sick of it, whinging.
Get stuck up a tree.
I've already killed a donkey.
Right, now it's decision time. It's which ends the worst, so which of these two clips is going to end the worst?
The bear one.
I think the bear one's
We're
the
going to
worst.
go. We're going to go obvious.
You're going to go bear.
Bears are more likely to maul you than cheeses.
Look, the point about this is you've got a bear in a tree
If they
and
shoot
a
it
gun.
if they shoot it with a dart.
It just has potential, doesn't it?
You're going to go for the bear as well.
I think I am going to go for the bear.
I mean, we could both be wrong if it turns out that what the other guys are running down is a huge grassy-backed dinosaur.
Or a cliff.
Or a cliff. Oh,
Lemmings.
that would be great.
Yes. Amazing. They do it.
Do you know, I'd enjoy it even if there weren't crocodiles at the bottom.
Let's take a look, starting with this one.
Ouch! Oh!
Look, it comes up again. Look at the technique.
Oh! Oh my!
And then they chuck him over the cliff.
At the end of the race, the winner is presented with his prize, the cheese, which is then fed to him via a tube by a nurse. Anyway, so did something worse happen with the bear?
There we go. Again. Whoa! Do you know what? There's an advert that comes on during the day for that bear cruelty thing, yeah, but they show nothing in the lead.
What is wrong with you? You're so cruel. That poor bear.
I've been going to zoos for years, yeah. I've never seen anything like it.
Supposing he sprained his wrist or something. Poor.
No, it's all right. He was thoroughly sedated. He won't... That's the great thing. He won't know. You can get him back up there, do it for hours.
What do you
won't
mean?
know. He can't know about 4 hours. That was his 9th go. Can we see it again, please?
Let's have a look at it.
Nothing less... Look. Oh! I've got to say, though, whoever
Yeah.
put that trampoline there, good lad.
Fantastic. What do you think they put up the tree next? How do you follow the bear?
A donkey with a virgin on the back. Would be my guess.
Do you have a pet?
I do.
A cat or a dog?
I've got a pet dog.
Pet dog?
Yeah, I've got a pet dog.
So how would you feel if your dog was up a tree and it got shot and it bounced on a trampoline and then went splat on the ground?
I think he'd see the funny side. I think at the time, no, I think he would.
Incidentally, the bear was fine. So the cheese rolling race ended the worst on the grounds that more dumb animals were carted off afterwards. And more broken
The
bones.
bear thing ended the worst. That ends like that every year.
He's
You can-
fine.
Those people were fine, weren't they? You're not saying that wasn't snuff footage, was it? How many of those people are now dead?
It was carnage.
That we were laughing at.
More broken bones. In
But they
the,
chose to
cheese
do
rolling.
that. They
Well, the bear
decided...
chose to go up the tree. He's defying gravity.
And he clearly loves the trampoline.
So at the end of that round, the points go to nobody. All to play for now as we turn to the wall of worst. Our final quickfire round, so fingers on buzzers, and we start with worst sighting. What explanation for this famous picture has recently come to light?
It's a sighting of the disappearing tail of the famous Loch Ness massive cat.
No.
Trish knows.
You know,
What was the explanation?
They said in those days they were circuses. By
This is
the
right, we
side
still
of the
have
river.
them.
And Nessie the elephant was swimming, and they think it's an elephant's trunk as it did the breaststroke or whatever they...
You're absolutely right. Yes, this does go some way to
you go.
explaining another photograph taken of Nessie eating a bun.
I think if there's an elephant living in that lake, that counts.
As a...
I think
Fine, you know. They just say, no, it's just an underwater elephant. Don't ignore it.
Worst present. When Michael Jackson visited Harrods, what did Mohammed Al Fayed give him?
A boy. Come here, boy. You are to be presented as a gift. Take it, Michael. Take any of the boys. Any of the fucking boys. Fucking take them.
There was quite a gap before you said boy, and that was a gap not while you were thinking that up, but while we were all thinking.
Should we say
is
boy?
someone going to say boy?
Yeah.
I've just got to say at this stage that Michael Jackson was found not guilty. Anyway, so what did Mohammed Al Fayed
Tell them
give
something
him?
they don't know.
He gave him a scrapbook of baby pictures.
You thought mine was bad?
Mohammed Al Fayed bought Harrods in 1985. The store's motto is Omnia Omnibus Ubique. All things for all people, everywhere.
Of course.
Except a passportus. Worst golf slang. What is a Sally Gunnell? Johnny.
It's not pretty to look at, but it's a good runner.
Absolutely right. Yep.
It is, yeah.
Golf club members resent being labelled as misogynistic, pointing out that they're also homophobic and racist. Worst will. To whom has David Pizer of Arizona left $10 million in his will? Johnny.
Just a dog.
A dog, yeah.
No, he's left it to himself. There you are. He wants to be cryogenically frozen when he dies, and when he's revived, he reckons that the interest earned will have made him the richest man in the world.
God, it's brilliant.
dear,
It's a brilliant
dear.
thing to do. You leave all your money to yourself.
$10 million.
Genius.
There are 100 human bodies in the cold storage facility at the cryogenic place. 99 paying customers and one bloke from work experience who fell in last summer. Worst flat? What's unusual about Norma and Dennis Nellem's flat in Lancashire? Yes.
Got no roof or walls.
No. It's all done sort of like the Palace of Versailles.
You're absolutely right. There it is. The flat has been compared to Louis XIV's palace at Versailles, though in fact it's actually better because it's got a widescreen TV. And at the end of that round, let's take a look at the final scores. This week's winners are Johnny and Tricia, but this week's worst team is David and Robert. Our thanks then to Johnny and Tricia, David and Robert, and there's just time for a look at this. The worst thing to see out of the restaurant window as you finish off your goose liver pâté. You've been watching Best of the Worst. Good night.
Well, for exclusive outtakes from the Best of the Worst, text MOBILE to 83188 to be sent a link to the Channel 4 mobile site. Next tonight, Charlotte Church goes undercover.
Welcome to Best of the Worst, a celebration of the very best of the very bad. We'll be looking at everything from the worst world records to the worst thing to do with cheese, not to mention this, the worst thing to see in the bathroom mirror after a late-night curry. So let's welcome our guest this week on David Mitchell's team, comedy actor Robert Webb. And with Johnny Bourne tonight, talk show queen Tricia Goddard. Round one is Pick the Worst, in which both teams try to pick the worst from a number of options. Once they've made their choices, the audience votes, and the team the audience agrees with gets the points. Tonight we're picking the worst thing to be sold on eBay, and our contenders are a forehead, a watering can, a Blue Peter badge, and a virginity.
What's wrong with the watering can?
It's a particularly special watering can.
Is it signed by somebody?
Who's signed it?
It was used to save the whale, or to try and save the whale, rather
yes, that
unsuccessfully, as
one
it
up
happened,
the-
stranded in the Thames.
Yeah.
The vets actually used a watering can to try and simulate the effect of a whole ocean washing over him. So, oh, he'll feel just at home with this tiny trickle.
Yeah, sadly the whale expired, but the daffodils round its blowhole came up a tree. What happened in the Thames in 1658?
Last time a whale came...
They carved it up and ate it, is what happened.
Absolutely right, yes. As Dr. Howell, who's a chronicler of the time, wrote, they came up the Thames as far as Greenwich, a whale of very great lengthy and bigness. It was harpooned.
You see, this time, watering can, then harpoon. Result, the same. Well,
I remember the forehead. It was some advertising company.
it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
She offered her forehead for sale to anyone to
That's
advertise
right.
on.
What was the name of the company?
GoldenPalace.com.
Yes.
I should have known that. Is that tattooed or just written on?
No, that's tattooed, which is, in
tattooed.
fact, only the second most stupid thing a woman's ever done to her forehead. I want to just go back to the virginity, though.
Virginity. She sold it for £5 grand. She's a lesbian. She's a student. She wanted to pay off her student loan. So she put a virginity on the internet.
Was she lesbian?
This is
Yeah,
so
she's
unfair. When
lesbian.
I was a student, I couldn't give mine away.
I know.
What sort of man would bid for a girl's virginity?
Did you have to do it on that sofa? Because, I mean, I think that takes the price right down. I think that makes a big difference.
Do you know who the successful bidder was?
Was it you?
No, it wasn't. It was actually a BT engineer. First time a BT engineer came when he said he would.
But what do you think, Trish? You deal with this shit every day. What would your punters say about this? Would they say that's offensive? Everyone would shout and hit each other.
No, we'd have a deep and meaningful debate.
And then the sovereigns would fly. Krugerrand meets head.
What else did Rosie Reed put on her advert? She had a little promise in there.
Oh, she'd make it worth their while or something? Or...
In a way, yeah. She said, we'll bung in a free massage if you're any good.
How would she know how good they are?
Yeah,
if they're the
not done it
first one.
before.
Maybe they were kind to her.
Oh, don't mention kindness. Oh, that's horrible. Kindness is a sad thing to mention.
Yeah, it really was,
The
wasn't it?
man with the £5,000 being kind.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everyone's a victim and we're all alone in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
What would have happened? I mean, did she have a say in it? I mean, what would have happened if a bloke, say, bought that for his dog?
I don't know. She would...
Oh, imagine that. Imagine she sold it and suddenly she goes up there. Oh! And suddenly you get the hooves up the stairs and the... In you come, Lionel.
A deal's a deal.
Little straw hat, the donkey comes in.
Yeah.
Oh! Just looks at her.
I just wonder if the donkey would have got the massage, that's all.